Welcome to Today in Prophecy, our daily news podcast. Hey, listen, Monday through Thursday, every week. Maybe we'll add Friday as soon as we can. But it's news in 15 minutes or less. We hope you enjoy this new program. Let's get going. China wants to start a national internet ID system. What a surprise this is. Well, not exactly a surprise. It's hard to be anonymous online in China. Websites and apps must verify users with their phone numbers, which are tied to personal identification numbers that all adults are assigned. Now, it could get more difficult under a proposal by China's internet regulators. The government wants to take over the job of verification from the companies and give people a single ID to use across the internet. The Ministry of Public Security and Cyberspace Administration of China say the proposal is meant to protect privacy and prevent online fraud. A national internet ID would reduce the excessive collection and retention of citizens' personal information by internet platforms on the grounds of implementing real name registration. Okay, let's think through this. What could possibly go wrong with something like this? I mean, this is from China. An internet ID is for your security purposes because we really care about you. I've looked at China for a number of years as being, in a sense, a testing ground for what's coming. Of course, they just do it, and then other megalomaniacs in the world say, hey, if they're doing that in China, let's do that here. For example, the social credit system. It has been in China now for a long time. If you watch this program or others like this, you start hearing about this years ago coming out of China, their social credit system. And I remember saying, listen, this is going to be the dream of every dictator throughout the world. Any country that imports it is going to want to put it into their power. Listen, the heart of man is deceitful and wicked. And there are no good, righteous leaders in the world. I don't know if there's ever been any. And maybe a couple here, a couple there, right? But you look at it and go, okay, I also said it was fairly a crude way of social, the social credit system. And I said it's just going to get perfected, especially with technology. Now, this goes back 7, 8 years ago when I was talking about it. That's only going to get perfected with technology, and we see it happening. The social credit system being implemented in various parts of the world, and the threat of it in places like here in America. And it really is already here in one form or another. So as we see this with this national ID, it's for your security. What do you think is going to happen? China will work on it. People will push back some. Most people will go along with it, and they're going to work out the bugs. What do you think is going to be developed in the coming years? That's right. How about an ID system for the kingdom of the beast? All right. Next story. Bill Gates, look at this. Bill Gates and the UN are pushing for insect-based diets for animals and humans to monopolize the protein industry. Insect-based diets for animals and humans. Gee, do you really think that's really happening? Do you really think that Bill Gates wants us to eat bugs? We already know it's in a lot of products. Read your products. You start finding out, read the small print. You find out, oh, there's bugs in my products. There's bugs in your dog's dog food. In an announcement on July 8th, the Singapore Food Agency said it had approved 16 insects for human consumption as food, making it the latest country to do so, including mealworms. The European Union, the UK, Australia, and other countries have also approved certain insects for human consumption. Wow. Gaps in U.S. regulations have enabled alternative protein startups to enter the insect food market with the backing of figures such as Bill Gates. Wow. And government agencies, including the UN, the Defense, get this, you ready this? The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, AKA DARPA. Why would DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, care if you eat bugs? It's about national defense. Isn't that a military operation of some sort? You know, DARPA's been involved with Facebook and Google. military data collection. Why are they involved in this? The trend towards insect-based foods is linked to the UN's Agenda 2030 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Because we care about the planet, you have to eat bugs. Promoting sustainability and forced behavioral modifications. I want you to let that sink in. Forced behavioral modifications. Let me ask you this. Do you think the people at the top, the Bill Gates of the world, they're going to be eating bugs? No. They're going to be eating nice steaks. In fact, I was talking with Alex Newman probably about a year or two ago, and he was at one of those climate meetings because he's a journalist and he goes to them, the COP meetings. And I think it was one that was down near Saudi Arabia. That's where I think it was. The year they did the 10 Commandments, remember that, Mount Sinai, the climate 10 Commandments or whatever they were, that year, and he talked about the food they were eating for those who were at the conference, the climate meeting. He said they ate the nicest steaks. They had the best food. If it's because they know eating bugs, who wants to eat bugs? They want you to eat bugs. Isn't that, I look at this forced behavioral modifications, promoting sustainability. So how many people out there do you think just believe are just going to go along with these insane things? A lot of them. It's about the sustainable planet. Well, why don't the leaders that cram these things, or the people that cram these things down our throat, why don't they eat these things? Because no, it's about you. It's about destroying you. And forced behavioral modification. That's what they're doing. Check this out. There's a video of the Trump's assassination attempt. It's some new footage. Now watch this, because the police knew something was going on. They were trying to get on the roof. All along, they let nobody, even though the Secret Service knew this was going on with the police, they knew somebody was up there. Trump's still on stage. Nobody said, hey, Trump, you got to get off stage. It just leads you, and the Secret Service tried to blame the police. No, the police were trying to alert. Secret Service saying no and leave Trump up there. It's such a, you look at this, unbelievable. Watch this footage.
If he was doing the job, I wouldn't even be doing this. Right now.
There's something going on in this building.
So we had to bleep out some of the, because of the language in there, but what they're talking about is those are the police, they're surrounding it, they know that building, that's where the guy was. Hey, there's something wrong there. The police knew it, they're trying to call attention to it, nobody's taking Trump off the stage, and the Secret Service is getting in the way. The whole thing just smells like it's a rat. You can smell a rat in this. Hey, check this out. Jews have no future in France. I know this isn't exactly a surprise with everything that we see. We are seeing we're seeing Israel being isolated. We're seeing Jews on the right or left, doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you're on, being isolated. For the past decade, Jewish families have been fleeing France in alarming numbers, driven away by a terrifying surge in Jew hatred linked to the massive influx of Islamic migrants. This wave of anti-Semitism has created an environment of fear and insecurity, prompting a mass exodus. Rabbi Dov Maimon recently addressed this pressing issue during a segment of French television, offering a chilling assessment of the current and future state of Jews in France. Rabbi Maimon began by distinguishing between the short-term and long-term realities for Jews in Europe. In the short term, it's true that Jews will be able to remain in Europe. However, he swiftly turned to the more ominous long-term outlook driven by the demographic shifts. Jews won't really have a place. That's what happened in Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria. Jews had to leave for reasons like that. His message was clear. The Jewish community in France is living on borrowed time. Practically no one, or very few people, thinks that their grandchildren will be able to live in France with the ongoing situation and with the economic decline, demographic change, the resurgence of anti-Semitism. Things are extremely clear, and they are written in the long term. If you were able to watch my interview with Olivier Melnick this week. Listen, I encourage you to go back and check it out if you haven't. But as he mentioned in the program, the safest place in the world for Jews right now, where they feel safer than anywhere else, is in a country where there's war. That's Israel. That's amazing when you start to think about like that. Where there is war, that is where they feel the safest. Wow. Anti-Semitism is increasing. Listen, as we look at this, we can see everything closing in. It's a reminder of the closeness that we are. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. Then you check out this. I mentioned this in my program yesterday. I want to show you this quick video. This is the Nazi salute during the Hatikvah at the soccer tournament, at the soccer match in the Olympics. Check this out. The Hatikvah is the national anthem for Israel. And watch this. You'll see a group of people holding up the Heil Hitler sign and the pro-Palestinian sign. Watch this video. It's short.
Now, if you can, please get standing for the national anthem of Israel.
Wow, you look at that, Heil Hitler, unbelievable. This is a reminder about what's happening. And then there's this last one I'll show you. It's hate in Toronto. Jewish school buses scorched in early morning arson. So, we look at this and you're going, wow, folks, everything is going the way that the Bible says it will go. We are seeing the increase in persecution against genuine believers in the Bible, Christians. And we're seeing the increase in persecution against the Jews, exactly as people like myself and some of my other colleagues and friends who teach Bible prophecy have said it will be. It was in the first century with the Romans, when the persecution was against the Jew and the Christian. So it is in the days that we live in, the days of the soon coming revived Roman Empire. By the way, I want to say this. Why do you think there's so much lawlessness and chaos that's happening in the Western world, especially the United States and what we see going on in Europe? And then you can look at Canada, you can look at Australia and so forth. But why? Because out of the chaos, the lawless one is going to rise. That's why it's happening here. The wokeism, the anti-Semitism, these things are taking place because Antichrist is going to be rising out of this revived Roman Empire. Listen, as we put all of these things together, look up and lift up our head because our redemption draws near. Hey, join me today for You Can't Make This Up Thursday. I got more stuff to talk about, some of the wild things. But in the meantime, look up, lift up your head because your redemption draws near. Thank you for joining me Today in Prophecy News in 15 minutes or less. God bless.